You're listening to Prosper in the Kingdom, the podcast where faith meets practical strategies to help you become healthy, wealthy, and wise. Join hosts John Cleaver and Wendy Lee as they share insights to equip you in your journey toward abundance, spiritually, financially, and beyond. Just a reminder, every situation is unique. The content of this podcast is for educational purposes only and should not be taken as specific financial or medical advice.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Prosper in the Kingdom. I'm your host, John C., with the ever awesome Wendy Lee. How are you doing today, Wendy?
Doing great. Good to be here. Happy Wednesday.
I don't know, man. I had to kind of think about that for a second, so just give me a hard time. So I'm excited about today's topic. It's good stuff. We're talking about, really a lot of things changing. A lot of things are happening right now, and we're going to talk today why you need to start now to build a business in 2026, whether it's, a full-blown business or a side hustle or just an affiliate deal, why you need to start now and get a jump on it. So kind of guide us into this conversation.
Yeah. Well, things are changing, right? And so, the next year, they are changing. The next year and a half, it's going to be a big separation, I think. And those people that are going to adapt to the way things are changing, or those people that are going to get left behind. I think about like back when the internet started, those of us that were around then when the internet not started, but became commonplace. Yeah. We have a big shift happening, with AI. And the people that start really focusing on building something that's their own, that they can leverage today, are the ones that are going to stand strong when the economy shifts, when technology shifts and jobs again. Because the truth is, there is no such thing as a safe job. And especially now, growing up, you and I, a lot of people watching probably heard, go to school. I remember when I said I wasn't going to college, one of my teachers was like, "What are you thinking?" Right? Go to school, get a good job, work hard, get the pension, retire happy. But honestly, I was probably the last, small group of people that was normal. And there's been a big shift, and people don't keep those jobs for 30 years anymore at one company, right?
I don't even know that people still offer pensions. I remember my very first real job, right? Mm-hmm. And I've heard that phrase, go get a real job. My very first real job had a pension, I think maybe for 6 months. And then they shifted us over to the 401k, right? Oh, you're going to do so much better. What a crock and lie that was. Yeah. It's, there's a lot happening, and I don't think nobody's safe. I mean, even traditionally, I've shared my story before. I've been laid off 3 times from my corporate career, twice for you, right? So that safe job, not so safe, but still people. And I know we talked about it. You being an entrepreneur, I'm an entrepreneur. As I was kind of coming up, it's like, why are you taking all that risk? Go get a safe job. Go get a real job. Yeah, and it's like, are you kidding me? And more, I think people are waking up to that fact. And, the things that are changing, you talk about the internet. I can remember back when, I was in finance, we were still taking paper applications. And now, then you had the advent of technology, and then you do the e-signatures and stuff like that. Things are getting faster and faster, which is great. Yeah. Now AI is taking it to a whole new level where, you look at that. What does that hold for the future of the workplace? I mean, you look at all the things that AI is replacing, even technology. I mean, now most you go into a Walmart, most of the cash lanes are check yourself out. You walk into fast foods, they've got the kiosk. Some of them don't even take your order anymore. They just look at you like, "What do you want?" Use the app.
Plug it in over there. Exactly.
I know, right? And so, it's one of those things that AI is going to be that next level. And so many people, I think, just have their head in the sand. Oh, it's not going to impact me, especially in that white collar world, because that's kind of traditionally been protected. Yeah, there was offshoring and outsourcing and stuff like that. That was the first level. Now it's technology coming in and taking those high critical thinking type of jobs. And I'm looking at the stats, Goldman Sachs Goldman Sachs, this isn't some, Timu internet paper. This is Goldman Sachs states that AI will impact 300 million jobs worldwide by 2030. And I started thinking, oh, that's way in 2030. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. That's 5 years from now.
It's 5 years away,
it's just
exactly.
like, I still think I'm 27 in my head. So it's like, oh my gosh, that's like right around the corner, 5 years from now.
Yeah.
And what you don't want to be is the person that's caught, quote unquote, with their pants down in 2030 going, okay, now what? Right. And trying to start thinking, because everybody is going to try to start doing something then.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
I was just going to say, and the jobs being impacted, like people have to really think, because it's quick and easy to go, oh, what I do takes my unique skill, but customer service, administrative work, bookkeeping, data entry, like AI
receptionist, yeah,
formulas, they can answer phones. Like you think about it, it's not just like the computing piece, it's also, the voice, like AI voice, video. We were talking about the other night. We don't even need actors anymore. I mean, who needs actors?
No, I'm telling you, you don't. I mean, you look at some of this AI that comes out. I've had people send me stuff. I think it's Sona or Sora, or I don't know who it is. I'm not endorsing anybody. I'm like, holy cow. I mean, you can't even tell. And hey, you actors out there, if you need a side hustle, start now, because you're right. I don't think that, and what's that going to do to all of that Hollywood? But, again, focusing on what we do, there are actually AI voice now, and they've been out for a little while and they've been kind of choppy, but I looked at one this last week. I've got a company that we're partnering with on some different projects, and, this is their new toy. So it's like, hey, come check this out. And I had a conversation with AI, and it was like I was talking to Stephanie, the receptionist. To route me in. And it's going to be a game changer for small businesses. But again, if you can adapt and incorporate it as part of your strategy or whatever, and it's going to make it a lot easier for solopreneurs and small business owners to all of a sudden, 10x what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be huge. But again, right now, that whole field of the launching the small business with AI and integrating all, it's not really crowded right now. But that's quickly going to change. And so you look at, again, those customer service jobs, administrative roles, bookkeeping, data entry, all that's going to be automated. I mean, because it's, I'm actually, and I'll just share this with everybody. I've got a fantastic tax team. They're great. But I used AI when I was completing my taxes. We just had the tax deadline for, actually, it's today for businesses. Yeah. You look at that, but I got mine done. I extended, but I got it done a little late. But I had AI go through it, and it found a bunch of stuff that I was missing, and I confirmed everything. I had them double check everything. They're like, oh yeah, and it's like, okay, you give it a few more years, tax preparation is going to be all artificial intelligence. And so you start thinking about that graphic design. My daughter went to college for graphic design, and that was one of the things. Like, what are they teaching you about AI? What are they teaching you about AI? And it's one of those things you definitely want to get in, but so many people I think are going to miss the bus, and then they're going to scratch their head going, what about me? And try to play catch up, which, they can, but that's why it's so critical. Jump in now, jump in small while you still got all the capacity around your day job and everything else. But you've heard me say it once, I'll say it 1,000 times, diversify your income, right? Multiple streams of income. While you've got that W-2, start looking at building a side hustle or get plugged into one that's existing. There's a lot of turnkey things out there. We've got one we're going to share with you later. But again, it's, when you're relying, and most families do this, you rely on the one paycheck. That is so dangerous. And I'm not talking about, okay, single income, mom and dad both work, but they got one paycheck, and it's devastating. I can speak from, experience. It's devastating when you lose that job. So, it's biblical. Ecclesiastes 11:2, divide your portion into 7, yes, even into 8 parts, for you don't know what disaster may come upon the earth. And I'm not talking like, the apocalypse, the horsemen of the apocalypse. I'm talking about, hey, you lost your job. That's pretty devastating to your family. So diversify. So there's other advantages too, which, I know you're going to talk about that. So jump in.
Yeah. So, the other thing, and we're talking, right, just to get my brain right on track. Sorry. AI is going to be taking over a lot of jobs. There is no job security. So getting that side hustle is key, like finding something that you can create your own income. And when you do that, you also have the tax advantages, right? Yeah. Like John was just saying, he's running through AI these tax things. It's looking at the code going, here's all the benefits you get as a business owner, right? Employees, I love, somebody gave this analogy, I don't know if it's an analogy, but this example once, like when you are at a W-2 job and you make $150,000 a year, you get taxed on $150,000, right? Yep. And then you get to spend what's left. But business owners, you make $150,000 in your business, you get to then, have business expenses that deduct
my car, that's a business, or my mileage. And there's all kinds of things you can write off because businesses write those off.
Your phones, there's so many things, your computers and all the things. Ask your tax professional. We're not giving tax advice, but you take those expenses out and then you get taxed on what's left, right? So business owners get to spend first, then be taxed on what's left. And then of course, under the big, beautiful bill, right? Small business deductions, like Section 179 expensing, those things are permanent now, meaning you can write off laptops, equipment, like we just said. Even part of your home office, there's so many different ways to leverage the tax code based on your business and get those advantages. So the government rewards ownership, right? It rewards business ownership. Mm-hmm. So do you want to keep going?
Sorry. No, I'm sorry. I was like, you left a little bit of a cliffhanger there, folks. So no, and that's one of the things too. And the thing I love about it, the whole reason I wanted to own my own business was, number one, I wanted to walk my own road. And I got tired, that third time, getting laid off. I've shared this. I got down on my knees and prayed. And I said, God, please show me a way out of this. And I will never let this happen to my family again. And he did. And that was in the form of, hey, I went out and got another job, right? But I used that. I went into it with a completely different mentality. I wanted to do well, and I did do well there, but I knew it wasn't long-term. I knew that I was going to use that job to pay my bills, and I was going to build my lifetime, my legacy after hours. And that's what I did. And, you hear it, it's kind of cliche, but it's so true. Really looking into, what am I going to do to create legacy? What am I going to do to create freedom? That was my big thing. I had to have the income to at least be similar to what I was doing. And now I've eclipsed it. But the key is the time freedom. I'm able to come and go as I please. I work with who I want to work with, both on the partner side as well as the client side. And it's so freeing to be able to know that I can say what I want. I'm gonna call out something that happened on LinkedIn this past week. Actually, one of my very first mentors, he was a boss of mine back when I used to work at Chase, and he gave me one of the best speeches ever. It was the third string quarterback promotion speech. I'm not going to go into it. If you ever run into me, ask about it, and I'll share it with you because it's hilarious. But we've stayed friends. I mean, here we are. That was in mid 90s, late 90s. And here we are. We're still friends. And he made it. I put a post out there, and he's like, hey, you really want to be careful about what you say. And it wasn't, I literally said one word. It was so. Like, why is this important? And, he went in the corporate hole, thinking about, you don't want to offend anybody, play it safe. And, I'm more of there's a guy named Tom Love. He's used to work for the Ohio National, and he gave this presentation on, you're not designed to work with everybody. You're designed to work with the 10% of people who want to take action and work with you. And that's my focus, and I love it. But it was just funny that, in that corporate mindset, you've got to be that vanilla personality, that vanilla kind of, hey, we're here for everybody, because the corporate entities don't want you to lose that business. Yeah. Whereas that was the big thing. And that was kind of a long way to say, I love the ability to have the freedom to be me.
Exactly.
I love the ability to be me. And that's, a lot of people like it. Some people don't. And hey, you know what? I'm okay with that. I watched a lot of SNL growing up with Jack Handy, I'm okay. And gosh darn it, people like me or something like that. I don't know. It was an SNL skit. So
I wasn't allowed to watch this.
Yeah. Yeah. I was a troubled child. So anyway, but there's also legacy and impact. Why don't you walk us down that road? Wow.
Yeah.
Harsh
A job, here's the deal. A job can pay your bills, right? We're actually reading this book in book club. And, we talked about like your purpose. Like you've got to do something that's there you go. The 5 Wealth Secrets by Greg Hill.
Awesome book,
Something
by the way.
It is.
Read it.
Things that fuel your purpose, and he talked about this series of questions, like asking somebody like, why do you work? Why do you work that job? Oh, because I need to make money. Well, why do you need to make money? So I can take care of my family and feed them and have shelter. Well, why do you need to take care? Well, so we don't die. So then why are you living? And he it's longer than that in the book, but it was like, oh man, we've got to have purpose. And some people do feel strong purpose in their jobs, but a lot of people don't. And that job can pay your bills, right? But a business can actually change future generations.
Yes.
It can change. It can create generational opportunity, right? I know, John, you have it set up so with your kids that they can take over parts of your business. It can change your church, your community. If you build a business and you're wise stewards with your finances, right? And the way you can give back, and because entrepreneurship provides that flexibility, right? Then it's not just money that you get. It's the financial and the time freedom that work together and can just multiply, and wealth isn't, it's funny that we have this in our notes. Wealth isn't about greed. It's about stewardship. I just made a post on social media about, like money is not the goal, right? It's what you can do with it. It's what you get to, how you get to steward that, right? And it's about using your gifts and resources to make a difference. And I feel, for me personally, as an entrepreneur, it's opened up so much more that I'm able to do. So
and you look at that, and it's biblical, right? We've talked about that in the past. He who is trusted, or he or she who is trusted with little will be trusted with much. And I'm paraphrasing there, but I just this past week I was able to help out 2 different people financially just because of what we do here. And it wasn't anything big or public or anything like that, but it felt good to know that, hey, somebody reached out for help, and I was able to say, yes, I can help. And again, that's powerful, but it's not about just the money. The money's a tool. But I'm going to tell you right now, going back to the comment about AI, it's going to get very, very tight. The financial system is reorganizing itself right now. Whether you want to, the fiat currency is starting to phase out. I think we're seeing the early phases of this. We just did the episode on crypto. There was a reason for that, because that's what we're shifting to, is that digital currency. You're shifting to a digital ID in some countries, and I think eventually that's going to happen here in the United States as well. I think it's just an inevitability, right? But going to the AI, rather than sitting back and just kind of, it's what's that song? Sun shines, lollipops, and whatever. I can't sing. You need to start really evaluating now. What am I going to do if my job, my job is phased out? Not just my job, but like that whole, we don't need bookkeepers anymore, right? We don't need accountants anymore. What are you going to do to make sure that you've got something in play to subsidize that, to make sure you've got an income still coming in? Because fun fact, bills are still going to roll in, right? And so here's the hard truth: that security mindset keeps people broke, right? The idea of your job is safe is a joke. And I just want to be very blunt with that, right? And it's nothing more than fear, false expectations appearing real, fear, F-E-A-R, holding you back, or maybe laziness. That could be a factor too. So don't be lazy, but don't let fear stop you, right? Stewardship is a mindset that builds freedom for you and your family, right? Getting your money right, getting your financial house in order. That's, we've got over 200 plus videos. We've got a bajillion podcasts and stuff all talking about this. But what are you doing to put it into play? And that key of diversifying your income and starting a side hustle is really that next component, that next step. And I know it's scary. I know when I started my career here, I was like, oh my gosh, I was afraid. And you just got to get over it. And the cool thing is, and Wendy's going to share some information here about an event we've got coming up on October 23rd, right? So less than a couple of weeks away. We'd love to have you attend. We'll put the link in the whatever. What is that called? I don't even know what that's called.
The caption, the comments.
The caption, the comments. There you go. We'll make sure there's
description,
a link.
the show notes.
Yeah, the show notes. There you go. I am the IT guy. I don't know if you guys could pick up on that or not. But we'll put it in the show notes so you guys can join us. And it's going to be, 30, 40 minutes at most, but just kind of a, hey, here's an option for you to think about. But the thing is, your job pays your bills, right? Your business funds your calling. And that's one of the things my dad taught me, figure out what you want to do and that makes you happy and figure out a way to get paid for it. And I love what I do. I will never stop doing this. I love helping people get their financial house in order, as Wendy does, and really setting people free. I mean, that's what we're trying to set you free from financial debt, set you free from fear of money, set you free from, fear of job loss and things like that. So, boy, I'm just on a roll here. Tell us about the event we've got coming up, Wendy.
Yeah, so October 23rd, for those listening to this more live. And if you're after October 23rd, be sure to check prosperinthekingdom.com and go to our events page and see what we have coming up. But October 23rd, we're doing a live event called Launch Your Own Agency, Build Profit with Purpose. So we're going to show you exactly how to build your side business, create leverage income, and partner with our team, right? And we're on a mission to change lives. You don't need permission to start building, right? You just need a plan. You need a system. You need a community that believes in you. And that's what we're all about. And so we are going to show you what that looks like to work with us at Prosper in the Kingdom, and how you can create not just that active income of you trading time for money, but also creating that passive income. Of that leveraged income that's going to allow you more freedom in your life and to help more people. So exactly. So come take a look at it. But again, even if you take a look at it and say, that's not really for me, so be it, but find something, because it's just a matter of time. The clock is ticking. The changes are already in motion, and you pretending that they're not going to impact you, you're going to be, I think, ready for a rude awakening. So again, not to, put fear out there by any means, but again, be proactive. Look at the situation. How can I adapt to make sure my family's taken care of? And, again, you need to be future focused, right? Future focused. And when we're thinking about what could happen, right, we prepare now for what could happen in the future. I mean, I think about I actually was in a play back in the day that was about the foolish virgins in the Bible, right? That you had your group of women that were prepared with oil for their lamps and the group that wasn't prepared. And we're called to be prepared, right? We're not called to live in fear, like John said, but we're called to be prepared. And so it's just the way the world's moving, and you've got to find that way to create that extra income on the side to create some safety for you and your family.
Yep, it's like the ants and the grasshopper. That's the story I heard, but kind of a similar thing, right? Preparing things are changing, and there's no getting around it. And start planning now. Start putting your steps in motion now. Yeah. And like I said, we're going to have that event on the 23rd. Love to have you there. Register because seats are limited, and make sure that you whatever you're doing something to prepare. So, all right, everybody, have a great week, and we'll see you next Wednesday on another Prosper in the Kingdom. Do us a favor, give us a little like if you got something out of this, or better yet, share this, video on your social media, or if you're listening to our podcast, give us 5-star thumbs up and make sure you're sharing it with others. That really helps the algorithms. And, we so much appreciate you guys for doing that. We're just trying to get the word out to help as many followers, Christian followers as we can. So again, help us out and have a great week. Bye, everybody.
Right. Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Prosper in the Kingdom. If this episode added value to your day, be sure to like and subscribe. And don't forget to share it with someone who could use the encouragement. For more resources, head to prosperinthekingdom.com. Let's continue building lives of purpose and abundance, one step at a time.